What's up, yins guys? Time for another video. Video where I talk about the real life Yu-Gi-Oh card games people play, or the Yu-Gi-Oh cards people play. Excuse me. Where I metaphorically and sarcastically compare real life bullshit games people play to Yu-Gi-Oh. It says, does anybody actually play the actual Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, or does anybody actually watch the cartoon? But anyway, that's what this series is all about, this video series. Compare those games to the real life games, and the cards people play, the shit that people be doing for real, and I metaphorically and sarcastically compare it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is very similar, and people will create their own cards out of nowhere, and you gotta play your cards to counter it, and then somebody will pull some other card out their ass. So anyway, on with this video, I'm talking about the card, call it the racist gaslighting card. And the people that play this card, for the most part, they're a different color than you, but a lot of times they're same color as you, like the white leftist panders or whatever. But nonetheless, most of the time, without the sound of the traffic distracting me, most of the time, it's usually the scenarios whether your neighbors in your town, people friends that are black, right? That a lot of people in certain political sides too, they don't like it when you got friends that happen to be black when they're pushing their narrative. It's not good enough. But anyway, yeah, workplace, be neighbors, establishing and presuming you got friends, neighbors that you get along with, and people you work next to, you got good credibility with, that happen to be black, and you get these other ones that are, like I said, they could be white leftists too, but a lot of times they happen to be black, and they want to turn your friends that are also the same color, that are also black, against you. Jealous and contemptful, and these are the shit starters that they'll not outright, they don't always outright try to pull the racist card and gaslight you. Some of them mostly, they'll do it in front of you or your friends, so they'll do it behind your back, try to a little bit at a time, gaslight you a little bit at a time, plant lies, try to plant ideas a little bit at a time. And a lot of times it gets back to you, and the friends that you happen to know that happen to be black, they ain't trying to hear that shit. They laughing about it, and you find out about it because it gets back to you somehow. But some of the ones, if you don't find out that they're doing it behind your back or whatever, if you don't find out by them it getting back to you, you know what I mean, by people going and telling you, sometimes they'll try to do it right in front of you, in front of your friends or whatever, in a passive-aggressive way, usually jealous and contemptful. And like I said, other people have these definitions of racism. Some people want to expand the definition of racism, and this card that I talk about goes hand in hand with the expanded definition, the expanded racial definition card. Or I did a video talking about the expanded definition of racism card, something on that order. I gotta make sure I remember to do that when I got a lot on my list. But anyway, I resurrected this series like it was from a bunch of years ago, so my older videos, I deleted them all. I had commenters that caused me to resurrect them. They were old videos I forgot about, so I decided to go ahead and delete them and do a new series. So I gotta check and see if I talked about that card. But it goes hand in hand with another card being played to actually to do the he's a racist gaslight card. A lot of times they actually have to play the other card that goes hand in hand with it. They have to play the card that deals with expanding and adding to the definition of racism for somebody else's own advantage. And if you look at all their YouTube videos, it's gotten that far. People tried to take it far enough that a lot of people, both black and white, ain't even trying to hear that shit no more. I think that people take it further and further and say everything's racist, and then it gets to a point where people are like looking like, what the fuck. But anyway, if you got this far in this video, usually the games that they'll play, right, whether it's in a workplace or whatever, the people that you'd work next to you gain credibility with that happen to be black neighbors. And one of my things, I worked in a charity that I had bosses that were black, so you established yourself some way. So you got friends and people that you gain credibility with that happen to be black. Shit starters try to cause trouble and turn them against you, but they ain't trying to hear that shit. But the tactic they usually try to do is because of how stupid they are. Instead of saying, oh, well, that's what so-and-so told me or whatever, and instead of backtracking the lie, they get their other damn friends, and like there's a card that I talk about too where they get their friends and their friends get together and say, oh, we're your buddies, we'll stand with you, we'll stand by you, and just keep pushing the lie, or start creating another version of the lie, expanding the lie, so to speak, and added a couple other lies to try to back up the lie. Instead of retracting the lie and shrugging off the lie and saying, oh, that's just something I heard, I don't really believe that. There's some people that will reluctantly shrug off the lie, but most of the time, instead of shrugging off the lie, they'll try to justify the lie by telling another lie. And they say you got friends that happen to be of another color, right? That happen to be of color, that happen to be black. These other shit starters that happen to be black, they think your friends are fucking born yesterday, and they'll actually and they'll even pull passive aggressive shit right to your face, right in front of you and the friends, thinking you're born yesterday, and they think your friends are born yesterday. And well, there's white people do it to other white people too. You don't have to be a white leftist. Black people do it to other black people too. Even though you can't call that a racist gaslighting card, there's another form of gaslighting that black people do to other black people, white people do to other white people, women do to other women, and then women and certain men get mad at each other for some reason. They gaslight each other, but that's a whole different set of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But anyway, yeah, that's what some of these people do. You know what I mean? Excuse my pausing in my linguistics here. I got some scenarios playing in my head that I'm trying not to laugh running through my head, stories that I would tell you, but I don't want to make a long-ass video. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to tell you here is usually when it's unlike black people doing to other white people, women doing the shit to other women, and white people doing it to other white people, black people do other black people, women do that other women. Unlike those scenarios, when it becomes a scenario where somebody that just another race is you doing it to try to turn you against your friends that happen to be of another color as well, they try to perpetuate another lie on top of the lie. And they get mad because nobody's trying to hear that shit, right? And they always have their buddies that sympathize and side with them that they run to. And, oh, we're your buddies, we'll stand with you, we'll stand by you. How dare him think he's being smart to have friends that are black, and how dare him get into a charity and he had bosses that were black and went beyond the call and did extra things to prove us wrong and just to spite us. How dare him? Fuck him, yeah. Okay, we're your buddies, we'll stand by you. Oh, yeah, and that card. I'll talk about that card separately in another video, but black people and white people do it. Black people do other black people. White people do other black people. They'll pull we'll stand. They'll run to their buddies, right, and play run to the buddies that play we're your buddies. We'll stand by you. Then women do the same shit to other women that are the same color. They'll play the card that, we're your buddies, we'll stand by you. How dare he or she disprove us and make liars out of us, But that's getting into other Yu-Gi-Oh cards to get into separate videos, you know what I mean? But you get the idea.